Brilliance Audio presents 1 Year Gone by Avery Bishop, performed by Brittany Presley. Nobody just disappears. Not like in the movies, or on TV, or in books. People can't just one day up and vanish. Life isn't an elaborate magic trick. There is no magician standing in the wings whose fingertips are so powerful they can make a person disappear with one simple snap. Of course, there were times when you were younger, barely 16, when you wondered if that were true. If there was, in fact, some mysterious illusionist who had one day decided to make your father disappear into thin air. But you knew those thoughts were silly, foolish, naive. Your father was never around much in your life, even when he was there. He worked 50 hours a week. Oftentimes went to the bar at night to drink. When he was home, he spent time in his ratty recliner, the footrest cranked up and aimed at the television, a can of beer sweating on the worn coaster protecting the cheap side table your mother found at the Salvation Army. Your mother, who was the sweetest woman in the world. The one who always had a smile for you, who was always there when you were feeling sick, who always took care of you when nobody else could. Your mother, who, when you turned 16, learned she had cancer. Stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, the doctor said. It had come out of nowhere, and it had come fast, and it had come strong. And while your mother was encouraged to start treatment, you could hear the truth in the doctor's voices that there wasn't much time left. That was when your father decided to show his true colors. He packed a single suitcase and walked out the front door and never came back. You didn't even have the heart to tell your mother at first. Not on your daily visits to the hospital in the cramped room with all the medical equipment and the wires and the dry erase board with the shift nurse's name scrawled in black, erasable marker. Your mother didn't ask where your father was. Didn't even ask if he planned to make an appearance. Somehow she just knew. Your father never returned, never called, never even sent a postcard. It took a while, but you eventually forced yourself to forget about your father, to act like he no longer existed. By the time you graduated college and decided to move with your boyfriend back to his hometown, your father was but a distant memory. The town's name was Bowden, a rural town located in north-central Pennsylvania. The kind of town that's not big enough to have a Walmart, because there's a Walmart one town over, but still big enough to have 2 grocery stores, 3 banks, a bowling alley, a 4-screen movie theater, a gun shop, a diner, and 2 restaurants, not to mention a McDonald's, a Burger King, and a KFC, as well as a Subway in the small strip mall that also hosts a gym and Chinese restaurant and nail salon, and a Radio Shack that would one day go out of business, leaving behind the husk of a storefront sitting empty for years. About 5,000 residents, all said, scattered through the main town and then the outskirts, and out into what the locals affectionately called the sticks. And it's in Bowden that you start your life, where you begin a business, where you get engaged, where you become pregnant. 9 months later, your daughter is born. You'd struck a deal. Your fiancé would name your son, you would name your daughter. You decide on Bronwyn, a pretty name, Welsh. You remember seeing it in a novel you had read in college, and it's always stuck with you. Years pass. Your business grows. You never marry, which is just as well, as your relationship with Bronwyn's father disintegrates. He meets someone else, gets married, starts a family. Still, he remains active in Bronwyn's life. Remains active in your life, too. Despite no longer being together, the 2 of you get along well, which helps in raising your daughter. Bronwyn lives with you, her bedroom across the hall from yours. And there are times when the 2 of you laugh, and times when you argue, and times when you don't talk to each other for days. But she is your daughter, and you would do anything for her. Anything at all. Because there is nobody else in the world you care for more than you care for her.